My name is Kim Ormond and I co-own Port Adelaide Food Gardening here at the People's Market in Port Adelaide. I suppose if I went way back, my dad loved cooking and then I wanted to become a chef. So then I worked in the industry for about 6-7 years and then realised I like growing the food rather than cooking it. And that took a long time to figure out.
Good morning.
Good morning. And yeah, so that was really how the journey sort of started. I just started, getting around food and then wanting to grow it, and then eventually discovered, permaculture. And then through there, I worked at a few different farms before deciding to study it, and then just ended up studying that in Byron, doing a Cert 3 and a Cert 4, and then found sort of what I love doing, and then moved back here and worked at another farm and then started this, so here I am. I suppose permaculture is a subject in its own right, but I think in the simplest form, I think it just makes sense to me, just being involved with the community, growing food in a sustainable way, teaching people how to grow food, and really the best way to do it is in your backyard, so being able to help people do that, that's something I'm really passionate about, and just telling the story of where your food comes from. So that's, and then at the core of it, another side is that I get to meet so many amazing Port Adelaide locals and people from the community who are just so supportive. We've only been in business for maybe 5, not even 6 months, and we're kicking goals. Never thought we'd be kicking, so I'm pretty chuffed really. Well, just pretty much different people have come in, and then from there, they tell their friends, then word of mouth has happened, so then we've gotten more jobs, private sort of council gigs, started doing workshops. A bit of everything. Started selling more plants, started the nurseries ramped up a little bit, everything bit by bit it's growing, just promoting worm farms and worms and compost, and just, so every part of our business we have little parts. All those little parts have started to grow bigger and bigger, so everything's just kicking off, and now it's taking shape, and we're taking food scraps from cafes like the Banksia Tree, Drummer Boy and the Dutch Coffee Lab, and then turning that into compost and then starting a worm farm from that. So that's pretty, we're really stoked being a part of that cycle in stopping food waste, but also creating something to help your garden. So different things like that are part of the business that are really kicking off. I'd like to see everybody having a crack at growing their own food is one. I'm also a member of the Semaphore Compost Network, and their end goal is ideally to end all food waste going to landfill. That's one dream, ideally in the future, I'd absolutely love to see happen. And I think just helping the community grow food and being a part of it, and so just improving every aspect of what we do to hopefully help the community in turn. It's grow food everywhere. I don't know. Just I don't know, just have a crack. I mean, when I first started, I killed so many plants, but I remember I grew an eggplant, was the first plant I ever grew, and I was just so stoked that I grew this one eggplant, and then when I cooked it, it was horrible. This is before I was a chef, but I remember I cooked it bad, and then I was like, I gotta learn how to cook eggplant now. So that whole part, and then everything has a story, and then everything is connected. So that's, if I could phrase that into a nice sentence, I could phrase that's what I do. Sort of the guy who sparked all of this, I first watched a show called River Cottage, and the English version, Hugh Fernley-Withingstall, he really sparked everything. That was the moment when I went, I want to garden, I want to cook food, I want to grow food, and then that's how this started. And then there's heaps of people, I think a lot of people who I've met just studying permaculture and just the backyard heroes, the people who are just quietly kicking goals. One of my lecturers, she was growing all of her food in her own garden, and she had a suburban block, and I was just amazed at everything she did. So that, yeah, just people like that, just the everyday people who are quietly kicking goals, they're the ones that impress me the most. Yeah. People my age and younger people, everyone's sort of getting more into it. I suppose everyone's a bit more conscious about, you know, what we can do to help the environment. I suppose that's been the biggest shift. I suppose there's been a lot of topic in the media about what we can and can't do, and really this is like a grassroots level of just getting your hands in the soil. So I think definitely like there's more of a shift and people are getting more engaged about, especially with what you grow in your own backyard. So yeah, for sure. Honestly, the best thing you can do is I love permaculture and there are pros and cons, but that honestly changed my life and how I view things and perspective on everything, from viewing the social world to the environment world, and like the three core ethics of it. There's three core ethics. One is people care, fair share, and then earth care. So those three things, just like if you live your life by that, like you're gonna have a pretty good life.